Hey guys, happy Monday. I just want to do a little bit of an update, just sort of see where we're at. So obviously, broadcasting from Australia, we're 12, 13 hours in front of most people from the rest of the world. But I think a couple of things before we start. You probably still got a bit of a different layout here today. Obviously, just the thing for people that are joining us from YouTube, head over to our Facebook, join our Discord. For everyone else, obviously, Discord and Facebook, jump over, follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, check us out on Twitter. Always sharing sort of articles and videos and things like that. But obviously, biggest thing as well is just this sort of disclaimer as well. I know it's obviously at the start of the video, but I just want to make sure, just here on the side of the video, or down here, sorry, that it's very clear. We're not financial advisors, and that we don't claim to be. Anything that we provide is general information only, and as such, it can't ever be constituted as professional financial advice. Past performance is never indicative of future results. So, never invest more than you can afford to lose, because, at the end of the day, your capital is at risk, and you are responsible for your own decisions. But, again, bit of a read. It's there the whole video. It's not going to go anywhere. Sweet. So, something a little bit different today. I want to do a bit of a market update in general, but I thought rather than just be bearish like everyone thinks I'm this big old grumpy bear that just wants Bitcoin to die, I think I'll try something a little bit different, and I thought we'd try and chart together. Just have a bit of a look at, from a blank chart, where we're at, what do we see, what do we don't see, just so you can sort of see that, look, I'm not this big gloomy bear. I do see some positives as well, but it's just about being safe and how those positives link into other patterns and how all the patterns start to come together like a bit of a puzzle. Because if you look at one, it's like, okay, I think it's about looking in the past, seeing where it's going in the future. It's always a game of prediction and probability based on what's happened historically. So I think if you can sort of see where these patterns are going, it's like, okay, historically, what does this pattern look like it's going into? Because patterns lead into each other, and they do just start to fit quite snugly together. But a couple of things: Bitcoin dominance down from 54%, still above 50%, 51.6. Market cap is up from 189 billion up to 217 or 216 billion. So that's a really big positive. Had a few changes in the market over the weekend. Couple of really good runs. Tether's the biggest loser. Tether's the biggest loser as usual. No, I'm kidding. So that was my saving grace. I think it's funny. I trade it in and out of US dollar and USDT as well. The reason is the Australian dollar is actually going down. So while this whole bear market thing was going on, and I went into Tether, I actually made an extra 5%, or 7%, sorry, from the US dollar down to, or the USD going up to the US dollar. So now I got an extra 7%. So it was, I didn't lose anything after. I actually made a bit of money sitting there anyway, which is really cool. But again, reason I mentioned that, I guess anything that you learn in trading crypto, you can move into forex or stocks and things like that, and vice versa. But I'm top 100, couple of big wins. Just keep in mind, you've had Tezos here again. He's on an absolute steamer. It's just rocketing up. I just don't get it. There's a lot of FUD around that a little while ago, but they seem to be rocking along. So we'll see how it goes. But the other thing I just want to bring is this concerning thing of Ethereum Classic, and everyone's saying it's going to hit $100, and now I see a lot of people blaming Coinbase for that, and that's not Coinbase. Coinbase had a heap of Ethereum, so then they've obviously got all this Ethereum Classic that they need to do something with it. Just made sense. But the thing is, this whole buy the rumor, sell the news is shit, and that is what wrecks people. It's not the crypto. It's just people just following that. Like everyone's, I'm going to buy. We got to $23. I'm like, sell, guys. Take your profits if you've got any. Big old bear Sean, just, cut your profits. It's going to go to $100. Yeah, it was never going to go to $100. Sure enough, we're back at 13. So even after recovery and most of the coins getting some traction and momentum, we're still sitting at around 60% of what we were before the recent rumble last week. So it just sort of shows how shit this whole buy the rumor, sell the news thing is. And if you chase news and you chase pumps, you are going to get fucking wrecked. Anyway, Going back over here, what do we got? Let's, nice new chart here. Let's have a bit of Bittrex chart. Let's have a bit of a look. What I like to do, guys, I just like to chuck on the weekly. I think the bigger time frames give the best support. Biggest time frames, so you get they give you your strongest supports. Let's go here. So last weekly high, we'll say boom. There it was there. Oops, bing. Last weekly high, this weekly low. Now I know people like to use the candles, but I think the tip, but where it's closed is really where on a week for me where it's opened and where it's closed, and where it's open like there is it's been probably fighting around that point, and we've seen that for me that is just common sense. But, people like to use it. I'm not saying don't use wicks. I use wicks all the time. But if I'm going to be using a bigger time frame and I'm going to be using these, and I really want a strong, good, solid support, I'm going to look at these. So there we got 6,100. I don't know it went down here, but, we only dipped down and we'll back up over 600 pretty quick. Well, what was that actually? 6,000, 6,098. There we go. So, but I think it's just about, this here again, you still got some supports here. We've sort of come down here recently to 5,900 again, but again, just be wary. Like, I just think that here we've got boom. So Wick's only just down. We've closed over, yay, and then we've thrown down. We've started under and gone up. So look, you'd probably say there's probably a support as well. What's that one? That's the 57.50 that everyone's saying about. Once we break 57, we're going to go down. So they're the ones that I was concerned about. Obviously, we've had a lower weekly high than the last weekly high, and here this low, we are still in this. So this candle is going to kind of be our make or break. In the next couple of weeks, this one maybe next week as well, depending on what this candle does. We can't go below this line here. We cannot go below like that 5,753. We cannot go below that. If we do, that's when we're going to go down. So just be wary of that, guys. Anyway, what I'm going to do, jump over onto the daily really quickly. Let's chart this together. Let's see where we're at. So this is where you get candles and wicks. So on the daily, you've got candles that are above. So you could call that a daily spot, 8,400. You know what I mean? But again, I'd more call that 8,200. I'd call that, yeah. You see here we've gone up, we've found a bit of support and we've broken, come back down. Found support off that, broken. Found some support on it, broken on the daily. So travel along it. So for me that just makes more sense for me personally. Okay, but again, each to their own. Everyone charts in different ways. I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong. But I know a lot of Forex, they will only chart on, they won't even chart on wicks. They'll literally just chart on candle to candle, body to body. So again, I'm never here to say who's right, who's wrong. There's always all kinds of different ways. But there we go. Obviously, we've got this thing here that everyone hates me talking about, and I know it's not this is the thing about crypto. Things change. For me, crypto is like. A head and shoulders, check head and shoulders theory has to be part of an Elliott wave and the end of a correction. It's a reversal. So it either changes the market up, changes the market down. Changes the market up, changes the market down. That's just bloody hell, TradingView. I'm blaming TradingView. That's just me clicking the wrong thing. Just getting grumpy. Where did that take it? So that was like down here, wasn't it? 3A, I think it was, from memory, but it's all good from memory. Ignore this. I'm just saying, this is for me, this has to be part of some waves. But for here, this is probably like a ABC up, ABC, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you know what I mean? So again, that's not really like a real Elliott wave. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So real head and shoulders, we can incorporate that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the way it would work. But in crypto, there's a lot more people doing it. A lot more people don't really know what they're doing. Again, I'm not saying I know what I'm doing, but again, it's just people see the pattern. They go, yeah, let's trade this pattern. And you see here this ridiculous thing, and it ran. And was like, that wasn't the change of anything. You know what I mean? But again, it still ran and people still got excited about it because, again, for some reason, now the pattern and what it looks like is becoming more important than the theory. So I think in that way, we're going to start seeing a slight variation between, Forex trading and stock trading to the crypto markets in that way, because this is more of a household thing. You get more people, doing it from home than your big boys. I know big boys are coming. They're starting to slip money in, believe me. But anyway, yada yada yada. Other thing we got coming up here, you got the ETF on the 23rd of August. So it's American time, so probably here. So just be wary of this. It just happens to finish perfectly around that time. If we get some bad news, boom. You see here, ETF reject. Oh, was it? This everyone's thinking this is the 618. We're going to bounce here. So we're going to bounce here. Let's just chart that quick. I'm pretty sure it's a 618. There we go, 618. Pop. There we go, 618. ETF says no. Well, not even no, but we're holding it off. Boom. There's an ETF approval pending here. So literally we've got a couple of days. It's the 20th today. So we've got a couple of days away. So just be wary of that, because if that says yes, we'll probably see change. If not, we're going to go down. It's just funny how this timing and this news always comes out at key important times. And it's not conspiracy. It's just funny how the market it manages to time itself that way. So just be wary of that. I'm just going to leave that there, not for the gloom, but because all I'm going to do is we're going to go over onto I change it grey just to ignore it. But I just want people to see. I just want that there so people see why I had it there more than anything. That's all. Now let's jump over to the 4 hourly. So you want to go down to the small time frames to start to work out your entries and that kind of thing. So I still feel that we could hit 6.8 before we go down, but again, the right shoulder is never exactly symmetrical to the other one. Never is, but we'll see what happens. Again, this could just not happen at all. But a couple of things I've seen people getting super excited about. Trend line. Let's draw it in green because it's this. You're like, yay, sweet. Got a trend line. Trend line has been broken. Bounce up. Found support. Happy days. But what people are seeing is this. So you've got what's called a descending wedge. So descending wedge normally means that something's going to break out. Now again, for me personally, I would have preferred that come out of here. Like that just seems, again, I don't know everything. That just seems too soon for me. But again, it's still there, so there's a lot of bullish sentiment around that for that reason. Something though that we want to keep in mind though, if we are looking at that, again, this is where people don't, when I say patterns, they start to lock in, like a bit of a puzzle. So we'll do this one because it's more of a bearish pattern. We got this one here, and we got, let's do some wick to wick, so bob, and then we've got the same pattern the other way. So this is called a descending wedge. Sorry, an ascending wedge, and so I'm just going to make this green, guys, just so everyone can see what's what. Everything's color coded, so no one can get confused here, because then everything goes together just the way that it should be. Yeah. Anyway, so now, I did it right then, didn't I? Pop. Green. There. New. Hey, green. Let's go red. Hey, good job, Shauna. So here, I still see up here, that's 6,700, 6,800. I still see us probably coming up here like this, and then probably, and then, oops, that was really ugly. So, and then coming back out of here like this, like that. So again, you see here how this pattern has led into this pattern. Now the other thing, this pattern here, you've got, people who say, oh sweet, we've got a bit of a bull flag here, but like this is not like that's. You could say there's a bit of a bull flag, but for me, it doesn't really fit it because it's kind of like, and then that's come down, and then here it's sort of started to come into play. Whereas this one here, when you reverse it the other way, and look at this, we've literally come down, and it's literally just been part of it. Like this is just, and now that. So for me, that doesn't really look very flaggy to me, whereas this looks flaggy. So that's a bear flag for people that don't know what that is. If it was the other way, it would be a bull flag. Green up, red down. That's why I'm drawing it this way. But so look at that. We start to get up, could come back down again. What else we're seeing here is what's called a bit of a square up here. So at the moment, the margin traders are loving this. Again, don't margin trade unless you know what you're doing. Seeing a lot of people getting wrecked, chasing a lot of calls around at the moment. Never over leverage unless you really, really, really know what you're doing and you have lots of staggered buys to push out your liquidation price. You know what you're doing with your stops. So setting multiple stops, having market stops to catch you, all that sort of stuff. But again, anyway, avoid. I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to give advice on margin trading. It's not my game. I do a bit of it, but I don't train people on it. Anyway, you've got the the bouncing around here. But generally from here, same thing. You get the same sort of action happening out of a. You get the same sort of action here happening out of a square up, where you actually get a bit of a fake break. Oops. You get a bit of a fake break, and then you come back down. So again, that's something else to keep in mind. So again, lots of patterns here are working together. But when a square up's the other way, when it's coming up this way, you get a bit of a fake break. And I'll just draw that white because again it's irrelevant at the moment, but you get a bit of a fake break down and then you go up like that. So that's when you get it up, square up again. It's just for liquidity and things like that with the exchanges and market makers. It's just how it works. But just keep in mind that's AI and bots and market making contracts and all sorts of stuff that's doing that. But anyway, so there's that. Now let's move on. We've got any divergence here. We'll have a bit of a look. Bang it in here. We'll thin this line out because we don't want this great big line now. Sweet. So on the 4 hourly, we've got a point to a point to a point to a point to a point. Quasar. Let's do that. And boom. We'll go again. And honestly, look at that. That divergence. We have some beautiful, beautiful bullish divergence right there. And that means, I've seen a lot of people draw it from there, but, for me, I'll, oops. Let's do some little dotties. For me, that could, that would be probably the midline there for that divergence. You see, you got to finding a bit of support under, support, resistance, so that's more of a me thing, but, that's traveling in an uptrend, that RSI. So that's really, really good. But just keep in mind, again, when we get to here, we go down. So this could literally do this. We could get this bit of a pike and pop down. But again, this here is a very good sign. So in the short term, at least, we are definitely going up, which is really, really good. Again, if this bear flag's non-existent, this could come back down. Like I said, found support. This could have been the support from it coming out and shoot off. Other thing that could also be, if you want to look at it, is a bit of an Elliott wave. Now I'm not going to go, I'm not going to go right into that now because Elliott waves are not my thing. Give me support, give me resistance, give me a pattern to follow, give me a channel. That's my preferred personal trading method. Some people love their Elliott waves, but I find Elliott where there's too many variables, and you see people they do the Elliott wave, and they're like, yeah, and then they'll and they'll just change it as they need to, and there's too many variables in to seeing, some people will tell you that, you got to bounce off the 618. Others will tell you that you got to bounce off the 38.2. I think 6.18, anywhere from 38.2 to 6.18, you want to get a bounce, which you're kind of done there. But I think if you don't have one by there, she's dropping like a hammer, So but again, that could have been a wave, or that could even be, that could be a wave. These could be sub waves like this. These here could be some. These here could be some subwaves or something. As you see here, bop, 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 and then here this here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That you get subwaves again. If you zoom down onto the hourly, again you zoomed right in, you start to see that there again. But what that there's probably is that there could be a, that there could be part of a. That could be part of a big early wave, which is again coming out of that bear flag. Sorry, that coming out of that ascending triangle. Sorry, descending wedge there. Oh, my name is Sean. Sorry. Boom. And then obviously that's not done properly, guys. I've just banged that there. But when you're looking at that, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we could actually probably get a bit of, let's see what we've done there. Take that to that. See, that's a 3, 2, 8. Yeah, 3, 3, 8, 2. Generally, that wave will bounce off 3, 8, 2. Here we go. And that would push us over the other weekly high, which would, for me, that would be, if this starts to play out, that would be confirmation of where we're going. And happy days. Now that would just be wave 1. So then I'd wait for the retrace, and then that would come back, and that would be then it would have a higher high, higher low, buy in, boom. It's time to go, baby. And from that, if that we break over there, then that would definitely bounce off the 618 quite easily. Come back to probably 7.2ish area, maybe something like that. And then we'd really start to. Bull season would then begin. I reckon I've fibbed it out previously with a fib base extension, and it looked like we're gonna have a pretty good run, but I won't tell you how much. I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. People are going to say, "Oh, we said we're going this high," because people half listen to a message, and then I get people having a go at me because they make some silly mistake or they don't sort of stop and it gets wrecked. Sweet. 38.2 again, bouncing off there, and then up we go. So again, that could be in play. Then your 4 hourlies, you come in and you got your sub waves, and then you zoom right into that again, and then on your hourlies you have sub waves again. But again, bullish. See, I can draw a bullish scenario. I can definitely draw a bullish scenario. And that there is a massively, massively higher. I think there's a previous all-time high. There we go. Boom. You probably hit that reject, or you might even. For me, even if we broke over that with this, let's get rid of this. If we broke over this here, found support on that, which took us over that, to find support on that, that would be a very, 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 I'm giving away what I said I'd do it now. Find a bit of support on that, blah, blah, blah. Sweet, so let's do a, there we go, whoa, what's that? You'd probably come down, like I said, you'd probably get, if we did come up, say something like this high, I really do imagine that we probably would get support on there, which is good. Take us up to there. 38.2 off the whole run, which would also actually be super close to being about the same. So we'd probably, so this Elliott wave would probably get a bounce somewhere around this area. Probably get a bounce of all-time high, I imagine, because that would just be a huge sentiment for people, and they'd just be. Now this is when all these people that sold at the bottom because they bought up here, they're going to start buying back in, full of regret. And yeah, it's that when that happens, and then this here will probably go up. Yada. Did that wrong. Doesn't matter. Did that wrong. Sweet. Obviously, no probably take this up. Something like that. Generally, these waves here will match in an ideal perfect Elliott wave. So yeah, 42,000. Could be, could not be. Not financial advice. I do not know, but whatever is what it is. I'm just drawing this for the sake of drawing it, to be honest. And then from there, you get your whole run. Yada, yada, yada. And then you get your red, and you get your correction. You have your A, B, C, and then the next one would start from there. Make sense? Awesome. So, I can draw bullish scenarios. I definitely can. But for me at the moment, again, as a trader myself, it's about safety first and waiting for confirmation. It's just waiting to see, get rid of that white one. That's irrelevant now. So, you know what I mean? But just making sure that, it's just making sure that these here are doing what, interesting. Watch this. Pop. There we go. Yeah, so there you go. That's what I said. Yeah. Flag, you'd probably take it to there, but again, I think if we broke that, FOMO would kick in and we would just go absolutely nuts. But story for another day. But anyway, potential. We got a descending wedge, which is a bullish formation that says we're going up, but we've also got a head and shoulders, which is bearish. On top of that, we've also got a bear flag and we've got a square up. So there's patterns that are coming together, that work together, and it's just about making sure that we're paying attention to that to see there. But any questions, guys, feel free to hit up. Post your TA in the comments if you're watching this on Facebook. If you're in the Facebook group. Again, if you're on YouTube and you've not been on our Facebook group, make sure you check us out. It's just literally the Crypto Den. Jump on, answer your questions. Admins will approve you. If you've got just a heads up, if you've got a Magic Facebook profile with like 4 friends and your Facebook was open like a month ago, you're not going to get accepted. We've got, crypto's full of enough scammers. We're not going to risk letting people like that in to damage the community. We're a great community, really supportive. But yeah, look, come on over, join us. Everyone all over the world's welcome. But again, like anyone that joins and you want to post some stuff, chuck it in the video below. Let us know your thoughts. And look, it's always good to sort of see different people's perspectives and see where things are coming from. Hopefully, this has added a bit of a Sean isn't just a bearish guy. Like again, trading. Once I get confirmation here, guys, once we get confirmation this is in action and probably retrace, then I'll buy in. But until that becomes irrelevant, that head and shoulders, I'll do it first actually. Until that square up, until this ascending wedge or this bear flag becomes irrelevant, and that head and shoulders becomes irrelevant, I'm not going to start looking at this. But again, looking at that, it is 110% entirely. It is entirely an absolute possibility. 100% it is. It is 100%. Anything is possible. And it all comes down to the market. We've got the ETF approval in I think 2 or 3 days, 3 to 4 days. So let's just make sure that we're setting out stops, and our planning around that for what could be going on. But other than that, peace out. Any questions, hit up me and Davo. And yeah, thanks for your time, guys. Cheers.